happy weight, maintain it with little to no effort, and never diet again? If that's a yes, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to The Perfect Gauge. I'm your host, Caroline Trickey, dietitian and eating psychology coach, and I'm so thrilled you've joined me today because today we're discussing what you believe you're capable of. And why are we discussing this? Well, last week I mentioned how we all have a tendency to get in our own way. One of the reasons we do this is because we don't truly believe we're capable of achieving what we want. And what you believe is really powerful. Let me show you just how powerful. So I've always been fascinated by the placebo effect. Now, what most people immediately think about when they hear placebo effect is sugar pills. But what the placebo effect is an example of just how powerful your mind is. The placebo effect, sometimes referred to as the belief effect, shows that what you believe can change how your body responds. Now think about the placebo. So you take this pill that's inert. Let's say it's a sugar pill. You take a pill with no active ingredient in it and you get better. So who is making you better? Who is creating the change? Well, you are. You create whatever physical change that occurs in your body with your mind, purely because you believe that is what's going to happen. Pretty wild, huh? And we're not just talking insignificant changes either. The placebo effect can reduce blood pressure, boost your immune system, decrease an allergic response, and so much more. In fact, my favorite example of the placebo effect is from a study in the early 80s where researchers were testing a new chemotherapy treatment. So as is the usual case, one group received the real chemotherapy drug while another group received the placebo. 74% of the study participants receiving the actual chemo drug exhibited one of the most common side effects of this type of treatment. They lost their hair. Yet, interestingly, 31% of the patients on the placebo, which was an inert saltwater injection, so no chemotherapy drug, also lost their hair. 31%. So there was no drug in their system, yet they lost their hair. Such is the power of expectation. And there's loads of data on placebo effects because they're viewed as being so relevant that they need to be controlled for in every single pharmaceutical trial. In fact, it's estimated that about 45% of prescription drugs work because of it, and 67% of over-the-counter medications like headache pills and appetite suppressants rely on it too. In some cases, placebos work in up to 90% of cases. So, if your mind is that powerful that it can trigger such a physical response as hair loss, what happens when you have certain beliefs about the food you eat? Beliefs like, carbs make me fat, or I've only got to look at dessert and I gain weight. And what happens when you believe, it doesn't matter what I do, I can't lose weight, or I'll always have a weight problem? Beliefs are so powerful. If they can make your hair fall out, what else can they do? So I want you to ask yourself this question. What do you believe you're capable of? Do you believe that you can lose weight? Do you believe that you're capable of lasting success? Do you believe that you can have a slimmer body? Because here's the thing. If you have unwavering belief in yourself and your ability to lose weight, nothing will hinder your success. Nothing will derail your progress. When you truly believe in yourself, in your body, and your ability to change, you'll find a strategy that works and commit to it with confidence and determination. You'll stay focused, make supportive choices, and see real results. Now, consider the alternative. You know what to do and how to do it, but deep down you struggle to believe it will happen for you. Instead, you hope it works. So you try to make some changes that possibly might work. Maybe, perhaps. At least you wish they could. And you find yourself not doing what's needed. Instead, you make excuses and exceptions, all the while wondering why you're sabotaging yourself. This cycle of making excuses and exceptions becomes a habit. You don't see the desired results. Your lack of progress and reoccurring disappointment reinforce the belief that you can't change, that you don't have what it takes, that you'll always be this way. You start to think, what's the point? Why am I even trying? What's wrong with me? And you give up. Because if you set out to do something but don't believe it's possible, you'll struggle. Without realizing what you're doing, you'll get in your own way. You'll get what you expect, not what you want. We all carry unconscious beliefs, unconscious expectations about ourselves and our lives. These beliefs and expectations not only shape what we currently have, but also define what we are willing to do. Belief acts like an unseen magnet, drawing towards you what you anticipate. Beliefs activate your mind and nervous system, enabling you to conceive the inconceivable and achieve the seemingly impossible. What most people tend to do, though, is expect the worst and hope for the best. Society often teaches us phrases like, well, don't get your hopes up, to avoid potential disappointment. We're encouraged to set low expectations so that anything better feels like a bonus. But if you're wanting real change in your life, it's important to first realize what you believe will happen. What you expect with certainty is what you will get. And there's even more research to prove this. In 2011, Harvard researcher Alia Crum ran a series of experiments now famously known as the milkshake study. She was looking at how what we think about what we eat changes how our body responds. She brought people into a hospital and invited them to drink milkshakes. The participants were told that they were part of a test for shakes that had different nutrient contents to meet different metabolic needs of patients in the hospital. So the participants came in at 2 different time points, separated by a week, and drank a milkshake. Now, at both time points, the milkshake was the exact same milkshake. So it was about 350 calories with a moderate amount of fat and sugar. But at one time point, they were told it was a diet shake, a low-fat, low-sugar, 140-calorie shake. And the other time point, they were told it was an indulgent shake, 620 calories, lots of fat and sugar. The researchers took samples from the participants' bloodstream to measure ghrelin. Ghrelin is a gut peptide, better known as the hunger hormone. So when your ghrelin levels rise, it signals the brain to go and find food. Then, in proportion to the amount of calories you consume, ghrelin levels fall, which tell your brain, okay, you can stop eating. It then revs up metabolism to burn the nutrients you just ate. So what Crum found in this study is that when people thought they were consuming an indulgent shake, the supposed 620 calorie, lots of fat and sugar shake, even though it was the exact same shake nutritionally, their ghrelin levels dropped at a 3-fold rate compared to when they thought it was a diet shake. So their hunger hormone dropped 3 times more than when they thought they were drinking a low-calorie diet shake. And when they thought they were having the indulgent shake, the participants felt fuller compared to when they believed they were having the diet shake. So despite the shakes being exactly the same, the hunger hormone response was not due to what people in the study actually drank, but what they thought about what they drank. In other words, what you believe about what you're eating or drinking can influence how full or hungry you feel, even if the food or drink itself is the same. So Alia Crum has done similar studies on how mindset affects exercise ability. In one study, participants came in at 2 different time points and did a treadmill task where their conversion of oxygen into carbon dioxide was measured. During their first visit, they had blood drawn and were told they would be genetically screened to see if they had a gene that helped them tolerate strenuous workouts or not. On the second visit, they were given the results of this genetic test. However, the researchers lied about the results. They told those with the gene that they didn't have it and those without the gene that they did. The participants then repeated the treadmill task and the results were compared to their own baseline levels. The results of the second treadmill task for participants reflected what they were told about their genes. Those told they didn't have the gene actually reduced the rate at which they were able to convert oxygen into carbon dioxide and reduce the amount of air they were able to produce through their lungs compared to how they performed the first time round. In fact, there was a reduction of 2 litres per minute, which is a significant amount compared to their very own baseline levels. So the same people doing the same task, simply based on what they were told about their genes, what they now believed, changed how their body responded physiologically. It's pretty wild, really, isn't it? So the genetic information limited what they were actually capable of a week prior. Their lungs performed less well because they suddenly believed they couldn't do any better. And the exact same thing happened when Alia Crum told volunteers about a gene that predisposed people to overeating. So what thoughts and beliefs do you have about food and your body? Are they optimistic? Are they helpful? Or are they fearful and judgmental? Can you see a connection between your current weight and health and the story you tell yourself about what you're capable of? We are culturally conditioned to worry about grams of fat or carbs, to fear food and ceaselessly diet. But can you see how such thoughts could become a self-fulfilling prophecy through the power of your mind and the placebo effect? Beliefs are powerful, yet most people aren't consciously aware of what they believe. They don't know what they believe. Everything that makes up you, or at least your perception of who you think you are, is a collection of beliefs. Beliefs you have gathered from life. Your belief system is your own creation. And it's this belief system that determines what you see, what you perceive, what you do, how you act, how you behave, how you respond, and so much more. Since you have created your belief system in the first place, you have the power to change it. Ultimately, you're the one behind the wheel, but first you need to know what your beliefs are. So do you know what you believe? Do you believe that you are powerless to do anything about losing weight? Or do you believe that you are in fact very powerful, highly intelligent, capable of solving problems, incredibly resourceful, and resilient? Do you believe that? I believe it. I believe you are, because I believe those are innate human abilities. When I believed I had a weight problem, in order for things to change, I had to change the way I saw myself. I had to stop seeing myself as different. I had to choose to be one of those naturally slim people who could eat what they want and not worry about their weight. I had to make that decision, believe it was possible, and take action from that place. Be, do, have. What do you believe that you'd rather not believe? What do you believe that is getting in your way? I'll give you an example. Many of my gorgeous clients believe that they'll never be slim, that at best they'll only ever lose a small amount of the weight they would actually like to lose. And I'll ask them, when did you decide that? And how do you know that that is actually true? Because nobody can predict the future. Nobody. But if that's what you believe, you will behave accordingly and it will come true. It will become your future. As Henry Ford famously once said, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So what do you believe you're capable of? What do you think you can do? That reminds me of the tale when I was a kid of the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I love that story. So what do you believe you're capable of? How do you know what you believe? From how you feel in your body when you say something. When you say, I can do something, for example, if you can drive, how does it feel when you say, I can drive a car? You feel confident, sure, convinced. Now, how does it feel when you say, I can lose this weight and keep it off for good? How do you feel when you say that? Are you 100% convinced? Or do you feel some doubt bubble up inside you? I suggest you spend some time looking into this, because your beliefs influence how you see the world and determine what you do or don't do. And if you feel like you've been sabotaging yourself, then there's sure to be some unhelpful beliefs lurking around in the recesses of your mind that are encouraging that. So that's what I have for you this week. Start noticing what you believe, what you're capable of, and then join me next week when I delve a little deeper into this topic of beliefs. It's a biggie. And as always, if you want to learn more or get in touch, you'll find a link in the show notes. So I do hope you'll join me next week. I look forward to speaking to you then. And if you haven't already, make sure to sign up to my 5-day Eat Consciously free challenge on my website, carolinetricky.com. That's tricky with an EY. Thanks and bye for now.